cake in Jenjikola. And sadly, this is what has killed our market. Because when we price like that, there is Sarah this side who is in a commercial place. They pay for everything. Then there is Mary here who is married and is just bored to be at home, and what they want is to keep themselves busy. So the husband bought the yaka, the water, everything husband has catered for. The only thing you need to go buy from the shop is maybe the eggs. Sometimes even you get from the eggs husband bought. And then you are busy on TikTok saying, I have a 20k cake or 30k cake or something. And then reality hits you. First of all, mommy, with time is going to get tired of you baking, and Boda guy is coming in and baking cakes and going to say, look for your own space. You has been underpricing cakes. Now you're out from the Kabeza money and you have to buy each and everything, which means you're going to increase your prices. And when you increase your prices, clients are going to run because they came to you because you're cheap. Now you're expensive, they have an option. They say, instead of buying from this one a cake of 70k, I would rather go buy it from so and so. You're faced that. When someone is broke, they can't buy from you. But when they have some money, you will go even attend the party and you're like, wow, I even chopped my profits for this person. But when they have some extra money, they go to the other expensive person. So this has left the baking industry bleeding because you can't grow. If one says get out of my house and find premises, you're out of business, you're done. Either what is going to happen is that you're going to come back home and say, hey, business, you're good, man. And then you go back to scratch. So I want that to register in your head as you're pricing cakes below the market price. You cannot survive outside your home baking. You understand that? That we just and even write it somewhere, scribble it somewhere and say it is painful, but it is the truth. So, what do we forget when we are pricing? Now, let us go and talk about the different things. We forget electricity. We forget that each unit has to go into that cake when you're pricing. We forget gas. We forget water. We forget delivery. We forget packaging. I hope you're writing. If I am very fast, someone there should be writing and they remind you. We forget the phone calls we make. Are you calling Letitia? Are you calling discount? Are you calling Ampla? Are you calling the client? We forget the phone bills. I want you to write down these things because we are going to put a price to them. You understand? Then we forget the internet. Over your young bundles of BBD, you forget all about that. You forget the fuel for those who have cars to drive and go put things in their car. We forget equipment. We forget that this mixer I am using today, I did not charge this mixer in the cake, which means if this mixer breaks down, I don't have money to repair it. If this oven breaks down, so you don't charge tear and wear of your products. That is very important because you are not going to go down 3-4 years and your oven or mixers are down and you're going to borrow money to replace. You understand? Then you don't have cleaning supplies on your list of, you use Jik, you use Omo, you use sanitizers. You have to keep a clean kitchen, but you do not charge that in your cakes. Then you have cakes that have failed. I'm seeing as the guy is in the middle of the baking and so forth. You don't put that in your costing. Then you don't charge for your time, which is very important. As we are getting into baking, when we are still new, our time can be very cheap. But the more time you have spent, do you know what that means? It means the research, the money you have put on the internet to study, the money you have put to go to a school, all that is part of your time, and it has to be put down as something that is important. Then, maybe the last thing is you do not have business savings. All that I've said is not part of business savings. All those are expenses. Be it labor, what, all that is expense. But you need money that you can put aside for that business. When something happens and you need money to put back, often you need to replace this, you need to upgrade, you need what? That account that you create specifically for that. And that account can be even a unit trust, where you put money in a unit trust and say, this money I can't touch. It's for my business. When I have an emergency, I can go to my unit trust and I remove money strictly for business. Because sometimes when we put money on our account, there are so many things that can go. But what I realize is that when you don't have money on your account, you don't have it on your mobile money, it's not your money. You understand? It is business money. So whatever happens, you have to survive within your means. So you have to put that part of your costing. Even if you're saving 10K, even if it's 5K per cake, at the end of the year, you'll be happy that you have some money for your business somewhere. That's one, yeah? That is what I want. That is what I want. So before we go through that breakdown, I want us to first go through the mistakes we do in pricing. The first mistake we make is copying other bakers. You go on TikTok and your heart sinks and you're like, oh no, this one even sold a wedding cake at 300. Okay, what am I doing with my life? You go and you cut to fit that person you have seen. You don't know where they're getting their ingredients from. You know nothing, but just seeing that they're charging this much is now your inspiration. That is the worst thing you can do for your business, because you will never grow. Then the other thing is pricing out of fear. You don't have the specifications, but you just go in the market and you're like, you do not have the specifications. Your business is not going to stay. Yes, in the beginning it will be hard when you put a price, but make sure that when you price, you match the price. What I mean is quality is equal to price. Let me give you an example. When you do a fondant cake, there was a time I used to do fondant cakes, and I used to think that fondant cake, if the butter cake is 100, if I add this, it is my markup for the fondant. Then later when I sat down and I counted everything in fondant, I wanted to beat myself. I was like, no, it has to be either double or 3 times the cost. Because my back, my hands, my head, my preparation, my maturity of the fondant, all that is part of the recipe. You understand? When you wake up, there is a lady I met when I just started baking. She was selling her things. When I went to buy her things, I asked her, why are you selling off your things? She was shaking. She told me she got nerve issues. It's a very good thing that I saw that at the beginning of my journey. She was shaking. She told me she got nerve issues. She can no longer function because she used to do a lot of fondant. I was like, you mean we can die because of baking? Never thought about it. So she was, and she had very beautiful things she was selling. That's why I went to her. She was well off. She wasn't broke. She had invested in her bakery. And she told me it's a sorry, but then the doctors told me, stop using your hands, but then I didn't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. You know how we are, as women. Now it was too late for her. Her nerves were gone. She couldn't now do anything. And here we are, saying a phone and cake is 100K. What bit is going to take care of you when you're in hospital? You know what I'm saying? It is the hard truth. It is either you do business the right way or don't, because you're going to be cursing your clients when you give this cake. Yet you did give them the right charge. So, how we price butter iced cake and whipped cream cakes is different from how we price fondant, because fondant is going to take more manpower, the time, the maturing, and all that. Then it is also different with how we price wedding cakes. You're not going to come and tell me that because your vanilla cake is 100K or 150. I'm a dollar to get back. I'm told now wait. First of all, you're going to take that cake and it's going to be rotten at the wedding, because you did it like a birthday cake. A wedding cake needs preparation, both physically and mentally. And you have to put in your head that this is someone's wedding. It only happens once. Okay, we are Africans. Divorce is not like adoption. Yes, it can happen, but it is a rare one. You understand? So you have to put it in mind that I have to give my all to. I remember before I had started employing people, when I was working on a wedding cake, I wouldn't take in other orders. I'll be like, I'm full, I'm close, because I wanted to give this cake all the attention in the world. So tell me if you're closing off all these orders and you're charging 300,000. You understand? You have to give it 100%. So that means that when you're pricing wedding cakes, it's different. It's different flavors. We have to mature these cakes. We are using fruits. We are using the best brand. You're talking about flour like choice. Take a cake here, because when you're going to fumoka, then you'll have a stone. You have to find out what is the best branding, what is the best drum. How long am I going to soak my fruits? And all that. And that is pricing. We don't price out of excitement. Of like, oh, there's they don't courier. You understand? Unless you have agreed with the client and you said, this is my first wedding cake. So I'm going to ingredients and I'll practice on your cake. It's allowed if you're being open. You understand? But if you know that you have learned and you know this thing, do not sell yourself short. You understand that? Yes. Then, the other mistake I have mentioned, charging for only ingredients. Cake is not flattened eggs. If it was flattened eggs, everyone right now would be baking. You understand? It is not flattened eggs. Then, mistake number 4. That one you say it's mine. Not paying yourself. How many of you pay yourselves? So we don't even have a 1% in the room, because we don't pay ourselves. It's very important to pay yourself, because when you pay yourself, it means that in future when you hire someone, you will know how much to pay them. If you don't pay yourself, okenda kuluma abantu ajakole kambe angeke kisina chenkozeko. You understand? And then because I've seen different cake artists moving around bakery to bakery, and then some of them say they don't pay. They don't pay. Are there people who are not seeing the board? Handwriting. So we make them bigger. Yes, we make them bigger. So the other thing is, now we are going to go through the cost of ingredients. Now this part will show you that when you're doing cost of ingredients, you're going to do labor, you're going to do utilities, packaging, delivery, and the overheads. Now, this is called basic pricing. This is P1 pricing before you go to all other things. And now, it is up to you here to add in your profit margin, what you are worth. One person will say, another one will say, another one, but what is profit? Most of us don't understand what even profit is, because you're going to think after the eggs land, what the rest is profit. No, it's not. Even what you're paying yourself is not profit, because your labor. Put yourself out of the equation and say, this is Maurice's cake. Maurice is not the boss who is working on the cakes. Maurice has someone else who is working on the cakes. Maybe Maurice is doing things like accounting or marketing. What is Maurice going to pay that person? That's how you have to look at the business. If it's not you, if it's someone else, how are you? So that money you're going to pay someone is what you need to pay yourself. You understand? So, the first thing is ingredients. All your ingredients combined from the beginning, which is baking, to icing. Let us say we are doing a vanilla cake, because I think it is the most basic cake, right? We are doing a 10-inch vanilla cake. So, that 10-inch vanilla cake, with all the ingredients, the icing, and all that, let us put it at, say, 40 to 50K when it is done. So, after that, add labor. That cake, I wouldn't think that labor should be anywhere below 20,000. Because you are the baker, you are the finisher, everything is under you. You're not going to call in a designer, yeah? So this is you going out, buying all these things, coming, all that is time, yeah? So 20,000. And then we go to packaging, or your stickers, your boxes, the graphic work you sent to the person, what they charged you, everything, even the borderman who is bringing that box to you. Let us put at 15,000. Then we go to utilities. Manyangina yaka, mazi, my maid who is cleaning after me, and everything. Those are utilities. Everything under there. I have put it at 15,000. Sorry, 10,000. Then the delivery charge of the things that come to you. There is an announcement, okay? Whoever ordered for food, come and check on the table. If you ordered for food, go there and check. Okay, so now, delivery. Do you know that sometimes your borderman will bring the flour, flavors, what, and you remember, oh, additional THLS, Nadayo, oh, additional THLS, all that, you have to cost it. And I've counted that like a 10K. And then we have equipment and wear. Depends on which equipment, but the list should be like 5,000. Then it can go up to 20,000. You have a mixer wajugula bukadde busatu, or in an oven wajugula 15 million. You understand, yeah? So you have to put aside between 20,000, 5,000 per cake. One cake you will put in that system that you have developed. Then we have overheads, things that are miscellaneous that we may not be able to airtime and all that. Then a profit, what them? Yes. Did you write the profit? Okay, let us put the profit at 20K. So, give me your total. Who has done the math? That is like basic. We've not gone through. Yes, please. Overheads. Overheads. Let's say you didn't get that price.
more overheads, we had things like airtime,